before we wrap up, because yesterday was a big day for the Sunday ticket case.
Yeah.
Both sides were back in court. The NFL wants the judge to throw out the $4.7 billion verdict. The plaintiffs want the verdict to become an official judgment. If that happens, it'll triple to $14.1 billion. And I think this is just a good chance. You as the layperson, me as the lawyer, and I've been slogging through the transcript. I got a couple hundred pages left. I'm just at closing arguments. I've been going through this thing for the last 3 weeks, looking for anything relevant to help people better understand it, because I think this case was covered horribly. For as consequential as it is, it was sporadic. It was hard to find anything. I probably should have gone to LA for the month and covered it myself. That said, I'm doing it after the fact by reading the transcript, so I feel like I know what's gone on. You've probably been following it, on a casual at best level.
Yeah.
Ask me anything you want about it, because I think you're a good conduit for the folks out there who might be looking at this saying, I don't really understand what's happening with this case.
Well, first off, why does it triple, right? Why does the 4.7 triple? This is my first question to you right off the bat.
For a lot of things that the law covers, and they call them intentional torts. If I come up and punch you in the face, or more accurately, if you come up to me and slap that giant claw into my head and squish it like a grape, I sue you for assault. And as part of the damages, the jury can award punitive damages because you did it on purpose. So I get compensated for the pain and suffering of you squashing my head like a grape, and you get punished because the idea is they want to keep other people from squishing people's heads like a grape. In antitrust cases, there's nothing like that. The punishment is automatic. The damages that are proven get tripled. So there are certain aspects of the law where that happens. We're not going to let the jury come up with a different number. Whatever the number is, it gets tripled. If it's $1 million, it gets tripled. If it's $1, like the USFL case from 38 years ago, it gets tripled to $3 million. That's why it is. The antitrust laws build in the punishment. If you break the antitrust laws, whatever the actual damage is, it always gets multiplied by 3.
Okay. All right. I did not know that. Here's my next question for you there, lawyer Florio. All right. Because I saw this a few weeks ago. I think I saw it, on Pro Football Talk and a few other places, right? And this made me like,
how dare you look at other places?
Mind blow emoji. Cheated on you a little bit. Sometimes you got to look at the menu. Doesn't mean you order it. You just got to look at the menu a little every now and then. But either way, this pissed me off. When I heard, could this affect the salary cap for the players? The owners mess up. They're going to lose millions and billions for the league. And are you telling me the players might reap some of the repercussions of this whole thing because of the owners and their greed about this whole thing?
Well, and that's a great point, because right after the verdict came down, I asked the league, does this affect the salary cap? And they said no. The unknown is if you change the way Sunday Ticket is offered, if you change it to something that doesn't violate the antitrust laws. And the basic argument is, the NFL comes together, sells Sunday Ticket, wants a high price, so fans are more likely to say, I'll just watch the games that are available for free from CBS and Fox to keep their ratings up. If that's an antitrust violation and that goes away, there goes the $2 billion per year from YouTube, or there goes some of the money that CBS and Fox pays, because this system isn't sustainable if more people have easy access to out-of-market games. That would affect revenue in theory. In theory, assuming they don't come up with some other way to make just as much money, if not more. I think they eventually would come up with a way to make just as much money, if not more, if they had to do something other than Sunday Ticket. But as it relates to the salary cap, there was a report last week from Sports Business Journal that some owners are trying to figure out how they can force the players to pay for this. Because the idea is all this money we've made that we share 50-50 came from the antitrust violation. So it ends up being an antitrust violation. Why don't the players have to pay for some of it too? And the easy response is the players didn't make the mess. The players aren't responsible for creating the revenue. The players didn't say, hey, go ahead and violate the antitrust laws. We're fine with this. The NFL says to the players, okay, we're going to share this. Now you go do your thing, and we'll go out and we'll handle the business deals.
Yeah, that just makes no sense. I will be truly pissed, and I'll be on the show constantly banging the table if it ends up affecting the players and the salary cap. That to me just does not seem right. All right, so after all that, where's your gut at right now? What are we talking, pasta and meatballs? Where do you think this is going to go? I know you have more reading to do, and you're not done. But, give me top thing that pisses you off about the whole subject, because you are Dr. Doom, and I know something's got to piss you off. But then also tell me where you kind of think this is going to go in your crystal ball.
Well, the thing that pisses me off the most about the whole subject is irrelevant to the outcome in court, because no matter what happens in court, the NFL could win. And I'll talk about that in a second. Fundamentally, what the NFL did dating back to 1994 is they preyed upon their most loyal and avid fans, because through Sunday Ticket and jacking the price up and not making a single team option available. Hey, I know when I first saw the display in the furniture store in 1994, right after my wife and I got married and we were shopping for furniture, I saw this DirecTV Sunday Ticket display and I said, holy shit, I got to get me some DirecTV and I got to get Sunday Ticket. And as I learned more about it, it's like I got to buy the whole package for every team every week. Well, I don't care. I want to watch Vikings games because I maybe see them 3 or 4 times a year. So they jacked the price up because they knew there were some of us who would pay anything to be able to watch all the games of the team that we get to see 2 or 3 times a year. And that doesn't change if the NFL wins. They have taken advantage of those of us who love the sport so much that will open our wallets and say, take our money. We just want the games. When in reality, they could have been a lot cheaper all these years, a lot cheaper. And there's an argument to be made that it should be like college football on Saturdays, Chris, where you change a channel, there's another game. Change a channel, there's another game. All the games are on at the same time, like they are on Saturdays with college football. So that's what I think is the thing that pisses me off the most. As it relates to the case, I think it's going to be very hard for the NFL to get the antitrust violation thrown out. They're going to have to take that to a higher appeals court and say, we're not the direct seller, or the antitrust exemption under the Sports Broadcasting Act applies to this too, even though it probably doesn't. They're going to need some legal silver bullet, because if the antitrust laws apply to them, they violated them. Their best argument, though, is the jury came up with its own number for the damages. That was the thrust of the argument yesterday, apparently, based upon the AP report. And look, some of the AP reporting hasn't really been even-handed, and it seemed a little skewed toward the NFL or incomplete.
Definitely.
Yesterday, the AP's reporting was the judge said that the jury didn't follow his instructions. Well, you know what? If that's the case, the judge should have ruled from the bench that there's going to be a new trial on damages then, if the jury didn't follow his instructions. So I want to know what else was said. The last time there was an AP report about the judge getting pissed off at the plaintiffs, when I read the transcript from that day, it's like, well, you know what? By the time it was done, the judge was unpissed off. The lawyers did a good job of walking him back from the ledge. So I don't know what all was said yesterday. I'm going to find out. But it looks like there may be a pretty viable argument that the way the jury went about coming up with $4.7 billion might not stand. And no matter what happens here, with $14.1 billion in play, Chris, this is going to get appealed to the next level, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to be willing to take it up. But this is going to hang around for like 3 or 4 years before we get a final outcome.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's going anywhere. I mean, this is not the kind of thing I dig into deep, right? You know me, I'm all football all the time. I'm paying attention to it to a degree, but like one of those where I go, wait, this is a bigger deal than I know I'm even giving it credit for. And the NFL is going to pull out all the stops and all the power plays they possibly can here behind the scenes. And to your point, even with the media, I mean, that's certainly struck a chord with me over the last 5 or 6 weeks. It seems like they've reached out to their people to make sure there's not too much light shed on this subject, which is what they do. We know that's what they do. But, yeah, this is big stuff. I'm going to be interested to see where it goes.
And let me tell you this. We know they're not bashful about complaining about the things I say and the things I write. I have gotten 0 pushback on this one. And I've said some pretty aggressive things. But I think deep down, I think when they concocted this in 1994, they knew, you know what? It's probably an antitrust violation, but screw it. We're going to do it anyway. And they got away with it for 30 years. And Chris,
incredible.
We reported overnight that the anticipation is they're not changing anything about the pricing this year. They're going to go forward. So if they end up losing, they may have to write an even bigger check for last season, which isn't part of the class action, this season, next season, the year after that. The one thing that could change, though, the judge could issue an order saying you've got to break up your Sunday Ticket. You can't do it like this anymore. You got to come up with another way. And it's funny, Chris, because the NFL's response, and it's like the lawyers came up with this word and every witness spit it back on the witness stand. Any other configuration of out-of-market broadcasting of the games would create chaos. It's like, you know what? We shouldn't have to do it because it'll be chaos. Well, that would be chaos. This would be chaos. They may get chaos forced upon them by the court.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. It's crazy. It is, and we know the owners are tight with that money. $14.7 billion. Yeah, they're going to fight to the last breath here with that one. All right,
that's a hell of a lot of money. That's a hell of a lot of money. Think about it. It's $440 million, Chris, per team. There are owners out there that are going to have to sell part of their team to come up with $440 million. Borrow beyond whatever limits the NFL currently has available. Somebody made a great suggestion the other day. Why not just have a couple of expansion teams and make the fee $700 million? Boom. No, wait, $7 billion. It's not $700 million. It used to be $700 million. Now it would be $7 billion. $7 billion, 2 teams. There's your $14 billion.
Wow. Yeah. We don't need more teams. We're good. We're good. The league's great. We're great the way we are. 32 teams. It's the best sport in the world. It's the best league in the world. I don't want any more teams right now. I don't.
18 games, more teams, 19 games, 20 games. They just, I mean, look, they want more. They want more.
They're going to flirt with, we're going to get into playoffs, and we're going to have guys we've never heard at playing quarterback in a playoff game. And I'm going to go, well, I guess I'll watch because they're paying me to watch it, but this stinks with we don't have enough quarterbacks to go around or good players to go around. That's what they got to be careful of. Don't mess with it too much. It's a pretty damn awesome system they got.
But then one of those backup quarterbacks is going to play just well enough, just long enough to get $55 million per year. That's how it'll work.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.